The price of curiosity. Cassie and 5 Zixes went back to the southeast. The night was dark and this helped them crawl near the fortress. Their accustomed eyes to the night made them see the Malservius guarding the fortress. Since their attack, the Malservius became careful on their immediate surroundings by putting in place guards outside the fortress who platoon its perimeter. They avoided them. The Zixes carefully climbed the fortress using ropes that they brought and emerged unnoticed at the other side. They watched the Malservius from the inside and followed them as it headed inside the woods downhill from afar and headed to a group of life lying on the ground. They saw the kinds that were sleeping. They had tails. The sight of the males surprised the Zixes. The story was true. What the Geradians saw then was a mole and they live with the Malservius, Cassie thought. Quickly, Cassie motioned for the Zixes to go back. As they moved, one of the Zixes slipped on some stones that rolled down the hills and this caught the attention of the Malservius who saw them uphill. They ran towards the Zixes and alerted the guards of their intrusion. The Zixes ran as fast as they could on the open tundra but before they could get near the walls of the fortress, swarms of Malservius came out from different directions surrounded them. The Zixes fired their arrows at the dark bodies before them as they tried to scale the fortress walls but before they all succeeded to climb arrows flew and Cassie was hit together with 2 other Zixes. They fell on the ground while the other 2 Zixes managed to get through the fortress and jumped on the other side where several Malservius began to enclose them. They ran fast using the cover of the night and they were chased by arrows as they fled until one of the 2 was fatally hit and the other one, not, got wounded. He dropped to the ground and managed to crawl using the shrubs as his cover. One of the 100 arrows that flew in the sky towards them hit him. He crawled as fast as he could as several arrows still flew towards him until he knew that the Malservius lost him for the arrows were being fired at the direction opposite to where he was. The Malservius came to the wounded Cassie and the other 19 who was still breathing while the other one was no longer moving, dead from the dark stick that pierced his neck. They were tied up and brought to Miro. Miro was looking at the fallen Zixes and spoke the language that he knew they would understand. Tikaboyakatidnan, tabadangnal oyakaskodnab idoyak otnet nuknad? Why did you go back? What do you really want from here? Nangnus yahubhat gapsalaman nimakang naman, tingap pirahakam neritaku iab 19 dikokodnab, anasidanok at nukgan otatar namalamni wahiyan imik. Anaslu inodta nagel alan imakn ivag eriperism. There was a foreigner who came to our land who helped our enemies. We wanted to know who he is. We are the Zixes from the Dikon mountain. We mean no harm. Miro just smiled at him. Miro knew who Cassie was referring to. Yes, of course. You mean no harm, that was why you shot at us, climbed our walls and now, wanting to know who we are. How many are you out there? It is just us. We just wanted to know about this place. Why? Miro asked. Cassie was not able to speak. I see. It was just curiosity. You were curious about why we have a fortress, of who we are. It doesn't make any sense why you want to risk your lives just to find out who we are. Are you not contented to live on your own lands and leave other lands in peace? What do you intend to gain? Cassie looked at Miro. They knew nothing about Malservius, how they look, what they do, and now he was facing one. I am sure when your leaders learn that you did not return from your mission they will send another scouts to here, or maybe an army to rescue you. Then, they will justify their war for the reason that we harmed you. Lands send army to other lands for very shallow reasons. Oftentimes, they see the dirt in the faces of their enemies but never smelled the stench in their own bodies. Now that you know who we are, I must tell you that the stories you heard about us were all true. We never lose in any war and we can burn the whole Dikon mountain and your forest if we want to, but we never did, not yet. It was a mistake you came to here, but I promise that I will respect your religious ways to make your souls at peace. Cassie was staring at Miro as he turned his back and walked away from them, passing Ichab, who Cassie saw was nodding while looking at Miro past him. Then, 2 armed Malservius came to them as their eyes widened seeing what they had in their hands. Then everything went blank. Miro looked at the bodies of Cassie and the other 19 being carried away by the male Servius. He spoke to Ichab. Gather all the males. It has begun.